Welcome to BNEWS Weekly. I'm Phil Gallagher along with BNEWS Director Rich Hosford, BNEWS reporters Tad Stefanak, Robert Paris, and John Vias. John Vias with the weather, Gretchen Carey with the community calendar, and Anthony Matos with sports. Thank you for joining us. An online challenge that was prompting students to act violently in school on Friday caused many school districts to take notice, including here in Burlington. Superintendent Eric Conti said in a letter that the Burlington Public Schools was aware of a troubling post that had been shared widely this week on the social media platform TikTok. The post refers to a threat to school safety for every school in the USA, even elementary, on Friday, December 17th. According to Conti, the post appears to be part of a national TikTok trend and did not originate in the Burlington School District. He also said school leaders did not believe the threat to be credible. Additionally, Dr. Conti said the district had been in contact with the Burlington Police Department regarding the post. Chief Thomas Brown said in a statement to BNews that the department was aware of the challenge and planned to have an increased presence in the schools on Friday. There was already an increased presence at the high school in response to an anonymous threat posted on Instagram against the school that administrators were made aware of on Tuesday. In that incident, school leaders and the police department also determined that the threat was not credible. After some lengthy discussion and hearing from members of the public, the Burlington Board of Health opted not to issue a mask mandate for public buildings and businesses during Tuesday night's meeting. The idea was floated by Chair Dr. Ed Weiner, who said he had some concerns about the growing number of cases of COVID-19 in the area and the different variants. However, he acknowledged the board and health department had received over a dozen emails and letters from the public, with most being against the measure. Dr. Weiner turned to Dr. Wayne Saltzman, a medical doctor and PhD, for his thoughts on the proposal. Dr. Saltzman started by saying that currently over 1,400 people in the state are currently in the hospital with the virus, with more than 300 of them being in the ICU. He also noted that over 60 people in Massachusetts had died in the past 24 hours, and across the country, the death toll from the pandemic is close to 800,000. However, Dr. Saltzman said the issue with mask mandates is how to enforce them. Here he is on the subject.
My concern with a mask mandate, Mr. Chair, is that we can't enforce it unless our town administrator and the selectmen of the town wish to instruct our police force to respond to our malls, our markets, our independent retailers when someone's not wearing a mask for a mask mandate. It's just not going to work. What I do believe in is education. I believe in responsibility of our citizens to each other. I believe that folks should wash their hands. I believe that folks should maintain fair distance, even if they're vaccinated. I believe that folks should become vaccinated if they can. I believe that folks should use their own common sense, knowing what we know, knowing what we've seen on TV, knowing what our hospitals are currently dealing with, to take every precaution to make sure that they and the community are safe. But I can't envision mandating it.
Board member David McSweeney said he agrees that enforcement is the issue and that the health department staff would be better served by focusing on other responsibilities. Dr. Weiner said he was leaning towards having a mandate, but would go with the rest of the board. In the end, no motion was made by any of the board members, so no vote was taken and no mandate was put into place. All members agreed this could change in the future if the situation worsens. Members of St. Veronica's Parish are working to secure housing in Burlington in anticipation of welcoming a refugee Afghani family to the community. BNews Director Rich Hosford went to talk to them about the project and has this report.
You've likely seen it on the news. Since the United States military pullout from Afghanistan at the end of August, there have been many Afghan refugees being housed at military bases in the United States, all hoping to find a home and settle into a community. Burlington St. Veronica's Parish is working to help one family do just that. They have taken on an initiative to find housing for a refugee family and to support them for at least the first year of settling into a new country and home. It's a big undertaking, and they thought long and hard about whether it was something they could take on.
Is this something that St. Veronica Parish might want to take on for itself to try to help out a person or a family that had to leave everything and come to a brand new country, and they're really kind of lost? And so we've been in the discernment process to find out, geez, is this something that we can actually help out? Can we help out a family or an individual, come and resettle and begin a brand new life?
When supporting a refugee family, finding housing is only the first step.
What are being set up are often called power sites, POWIR. The partners organize to welcome immigrants and refugees. And when a power site can find housing, the Catholic Charities or the Jewish Family Services will send a family out to the power site to start helping them transition into the area. So you find housing, and then they come out into the area, and once the power site will help them move in, they'll find furnishings, and they'll find food for them to start off with. They come into the area, move into the housing, and then once they transition into their new location, what we try to do is we help them to get established with any subsidy programs that they're available for, and to learn their way around the local area, and to start looking for jobs, and to do whatever other family needs that the particular family may need, such as English as a second language, or enrolling kids in school, enrolling everybody into health care, and those type of programs.
They are also working to make connections with other religious and civic groups in town for additional support.
We've received some initial interest from all these other organizations, so we're trying to build some partnerships where we have capacity, and once we feel like we do have that capacity, we'll see if we can locate actual housing and have a family come in.
If anyone wants to help the cause but doesn't know anything about locating housing, there are many opportunities to show your support for the refugee family.
The average person, when you think about this, when a new family comes into town, they don't have an automobile, they don't have means of getting from one place to another, so we're going to need people to drive them to different appointments, either back and forth to work, or to school, or to doctor's appointments, to get them established that way. And just even initially, just trying to outfit an entire house with furniture, for an entire family, as well as food and all the things that go along with the regular kitchen. We kind of take for granted that, every household has plates and dishes, but not so with this. We have to provide everything right from the ground up.
Finally, Father Mahoney said this project is perfectly aligned with the teachings of the Catholic faith.
Certainly within the Catholic Church, Jesus, of course, wants us to be always open to the immigrant, and open to the poor, and to those who are suffering. And all these Afghan refugees, they all fall into that exact same category. So we're just trying to think of ideas to see if we can actually support this. And we need the help of the community as well. And so that's why we're having this interview, to see if any other members of the community here within Burlington, or even a little bit beyond, would be able to assist us in this particular project. It's a calling that the Lord has to make sure that we can take care of one another.
Anyone interested in learning more can visit the Burlington Power Facebook page, or send an email to burlingtonpower@gmail.com. From St. Malachy's Church, I'm BNEWS Director Rich Hosford.
A project to change what has been determined to be a dangerous intersection has been finalized and approved by the Burlington Board of Selectmen. The project was presented by Town Engineer Tom Hayes and Senior Engineer Stephen Hildreth at Monday night's meeting. The site in question is the intersection where Peach Orchard Road ends and intersects with both Winter Street and Pearl Street. At a previous meeting, Hayes and Hildreth explained that residents in the area had complained that the sightlines at the intersection make it difficult for pedestrians to cross the street safely. The intersection is currently laid out as seen here. The change includes adding stop signs at the intersection on both Winter and Pearl Streets, keeping the sign at the end of Peach Orchard Road, making it a three-way stop. A crosswalk will be placed across Winter Street at the intersection for pedestrian use. They're also going to install new sections of sidewalks to connect Winter and Pearl Streets, so pedestrians will have walkability from one street to the other and then to the Woburn line. That plan can be viewed here. The project is being funded by a former appropriation of $120,000 that was previously approved by town meeting in 2018 for sidewalk work on Terrace Hall Ave. After the town received a grant from the state to cover the expenses of that project, town meeting reapproved or reappropriated the money moving to this project. Hayes said the work will be done in the spring of 2022. The Select Board has heard, the Select Board heard from the Town of Burlington's Inspector of Buildings, Mark Duppel, on a proposed increase in the building fee structure. Duppel proposed a modest rise in the building fee structures, which are the lowest in the area, to bring Burlington on level with surrounding communities that have increased their fees within the last 2 years. Burlington's last fee increase in June of 2013 was minor. Duppel remarked on the vast increase in the sale prices of homes since the last increase, noting in 2013 the average house in Burlington cost $400,000 compared to today's average of around $700,000. The proposed increases for $3 per thousand of construction cost, a rate that would put Burlington in the middle of the pack compared to surrounding communities. Although absent from the meeting, the Select Board representative to the Burlington Housing Partnership, Michael Rennion, submitted a statement on the issue. He proposed the demolition fee, slated to be raised from $100 to $200, actually go to $1,000. He said the funds generated from this could be invested in affordable housing. Town Administrator Sagarino, excuse me, said the Housing Partnership is seeking assistance in managing the town's affordable housing portfolio, and the added income from the proposed demolition fee could cover some of the additional costs associated with the program. The Select Board approved the building fee structure increase as proposed and will visit the $1,000 demolition fee after further discussion. The new fees will go into effect January 1, 2022. A group of Burlington teams have come together to collect donations that will help them create first aid kits for local homeless shelter this holiday season. BNEWS reporter John Vias met up with them and has this look.
As it gets closer and closer to Christmas Day, there's still time to help others in need locally and globally. Enter the Burlington Youth Red Cross Club, a group of 3 Burlington kids who are collecting various first aid supplies, such as Band-Aids, face masks, hand sanitizer, and latex-free gloves, all part of their first aid kit supply drive.
We went to the food pantry in Boston. They do give food to people in Boston, but it's really just a big city, and all the other towns don't really have like any way of accessing this food pantry or accessing like Red Cross funds. And we saw that you can start a club in your own town and basically give to your town, and we thought that was a really good idea, especially for the youth to get involved and to just like volunteer and help out the community. So we just thought that was a good idea, and we thought we might give back to the community because they've given us so much.
The girls plan to create first aid kits with the health items they collect and will go where they are needed most during the holiday season.
During the holiday season, it tends to get a lot colder. A lot of people get more sick during this time of year, and just being able to get the whole community together and to donate to this drive. We can make these first aid kits from all the stuff they donated, and with those first aid kits, we can donate to families in Burlington or homeless shelters or charity or anywhere we really see fit. So everyone basically gets an opportunity for good health, especially during the COVID crisis.
The group gathers at the Burlington Public Library each week to discuss new ways to give back to their community.
The actual Red Cross is more of like a global organization, and we decided to make our little local level club to kind of focus more on our community in a local level. So we can grab like resources from here and then help people here and maybe like around us too. And then we also wanted to like connect the other youths in this town with like the work that we usually do. It's kind of hard to volunteer when you're this young and like find opportunities like that.
So we typically take our donations at the Burlington Library, and you know, if you want to like join our club or like sign up and like find opportunities, we have our email on the flyer in like the donation box on the lower level of the library, and we also have our Instagram, which you know you can like find a bunch of contact information and links to sign up.
From the Burlington Public Library, this is John Vias for BNEWS Weekly.
The Burlington Fire Department will soon have a new member. At the recommendation of Chief Mike Patterson, Town Administrator Paul Sagarino appointed Salem resident John P. O'Leary Jr. to the department during Monday night's board meeting. He will join the department in February after completing the Firefighting Academy in Brookline. Patterson said O'Leary is a graduate of Essex Technical High School in Danvers and completed his paramedic program at EMTS Inc., an affiliate of Dean College. He is a national and state certified EMT paramedic. O'Leary is also certified in advanced cardiovascular life support and pediatric life support. He currently works at Cataldo Ambulance Services as a paramedic. John comes highly recommended by both current and former employers, as well as all references that we spoke to, Chief Patterson said, many of which work in public safety. O'Leary is scheduled to attend the Brookline Firefighting Academy this February. The Burlington High School Band and Chorus returned to the Fogelberg Auditorium for an in-person holiday concert with audience members for the first time since March of 2020. BNEWS reporter Robert Paris was there and has this report.
The BHS Band and Chorus returned to the stage for the first time since March of 2020, as they had an in-person holiday concert during a matinee performance on December 12th.
A great environment, a great place to be, really supportive community, and having everybody together again and to be able to work on these skills and to have this performance be culminating in all their hard work from the season. So
it was really exciting. We had performances from the jazz band and the symphonic winds on our side, also the chorus and the orchestra program. It was our first time inside performing a major concert in the Performing Arts Auditorium since March of 2020. So there's a lot of excitement, some really hard work on both sides of the Performing Arts Department, and yeah, a great turnout. So we're really excited.
Before the featured program, the Burlington Performing Arts Parents Association held a silent auction to raise scholarship money for graduating seniors.
Well, the boosters are having an auction to benefit our 2 scholarships we give at the end of the year to graduating seniors. We have lots of wonderful items to bid on, and we also have a 50-50 raffle.
We received some wonderful donations, some pretty fabulous ones. Everyone was so generous. We thank them for everything that they did for us so we can raise funds for our students here in Burlington who are doing performing arts. We support them, and that's our mission.
Being together has been one of the themes the music department has been using throughout the course of the pandemic.
I think to be here, of course, in December, to be indoors and be comfortable around each other. We still had safety protocol, every other row and distancing and masks, of course, but it was just great to be back together again.
Being back in person this year and taking some protocols with masks and our instruments, we have bell covers on them. But aside from that, we're feeling a little bit back to normal. So back indoors doing a performance, and it's just really nice. That's kind of our natural habitat to do that. So it's great to be back.
It was just so joyful to be singing together again, to be playing together again. And I keep waiting for that joy to subside, and it just isn't. Every day is magical. I think we'll never take for granted again being able to play or sing together.
From the Fogelberg Auditorium, I'm Robert Paris for BNEWS Weekly.
Students at Burlington High School have created a process-oriented approach that aims to strengthen student writing and build a writing community in the classrooms and halls of BHS. BNEWS reporter Tad Stefanak went to check it out and has this report.
It starts with the writing. And accepted applicants at the Burlington High School Writing Center are turning their passion for writing into something more.
Ever since I sort of started high school, I knew that writing has always been my passion. And Writing Fellows started, I believe, when I was a freshman. And I've always sort of looked up to them just because they're really like the hierarchy of writing in the school. They're really at the top for students. I just love what they do. I love helping other students and like using our passions to help other students.
I wanted to do it because I love writing. And there's so many kids that don't like writing, and I wanted to be someone who could help them learn to like it. And I also just I want to help people improve their writing for the rest of their high school years, not just for one paper.
Right now I'm actually in a creative writing class. I never really liked creative writing before, but now it's one of my favorites.
So I'm actually going to college for creative writing, and in college I do want to work in the writing center and continue to help students with their writing.
I also love just helping people with certain papers where you need to find evidence and very analytical writing. I plan on following a pre-law track in college and eventually becoming a lawyer, which I know has to use a lot of writing, and that's part of why I chose the career, because writing is one of probably what I'm most passionate about in high school.
We have a lot of future plans that we're thinking about, but one thing that we're really thinking about is we want to kind of try to expand more into the school
and create more spaces for people, like students, to collaborate in and like work together in. But they're student run, so they're a safe spot for students to come and work quietly on like writing or academic things.
I really like just combining that all into one. I love all kinds of writing.
From the Burlington High School Writing Center, I'm BNEWS reporter Tad Stefanak.
Burlington has been issued additional liquor licenses thanks to a state formula that uses population to determine how many licenses each municipality receives. The additional licenses were based on the results of the 2020 census, which saw Burlington's population grow over the 2010 census numbers. The Massachusetts Alcoholic Beverage Control Commission said in a statement that they had compiled the impact of the new population numbers and have subsequently issued new licenses to any municipality that saw a significant enough growth. According to the ABCC, Burlington qualified to receive a total of 6 new licenses, including 3 alcohol, a beer and wine license, a wine and malt license, and a license to allow a store to sell beer and wine. The licenses could come in handy as the town looks to support more family-sized restaurants. Currently, there are a handful of licenses dedicated to the town center overlay, but until recently, the town's only townwide all-alcohol license was held by Simon Properties in the Burlington Mall because it was formerly issued to Besitos. The mall did recently return that license to the town as part of approval from the board of the transfer of one of the mall's specific licenses for new restaurants. We go now to John Vias, who's filling in for BNews weatherman Peter Brown for a look at this week's forecast. We'll also check out the community calendar with Gretchen Carey to see what's happening in Burlington.
Hello and welcome to your weekly weather report. John Vias here, filling in for Peter Brown, who is out this week. Let's check out that 7-day forecast, shall we? We start our cycle on Friday, where we can expect to see sunny skies with a high near 53 degrees. Now don't get used to that type of weather, as on Saturday, there the temperatures will drop to about 39, and there's a chance of rain and snow with 1 to 2 inches of accumulation during the day, and another 1 to 2 that night. Sunday will start with a chance of rain and snow early in the morning, but then the sun is expected to come part way out, and the temperature will be back up in the high 30s. On Monday, we can expect sunny skies with a high near 31 degrees. Tuesday will be a little warmer, with a high of 40 and sunny. Wednesday will also be mostly sunny, with a high near 37. And finally on Thursday, we're likely to see some clouds with a high of 39. And that's your BNews Weekly Weather Report. I'm John Vias, saying as Peter Brown always does, get out there, enjoy the weather, and have a great week.
It's flu season. You're probably planning to get your kids their flu shots, but remember to get yours too. Vaccinating your family is the best way to protect you and your kids from the flu. Protect yourself. Protect your family. Get your flu shot today.
Hey everyone, I'm Gretchen Carey, and this is your community calendar. On December 21st, the Burlington Board of Health will be having a Moderna COVID booster clinic at the Murray Kelly Room at the Council on Aging. To register, go to the following website. Also on December 21st, the Parks and Recreation Department will be having Photos with Santa at the Grandview Farm. The event is $5 per family, Burlington residents only. Register at burlingtonrecreation.org. On December 28th at 11 a.m., the Burlington Public Library will be having a family movie day. Boss Baby Family Business will be shown. Pre-registration is required. For more, go to burlingtonpubliclibrary.org.
The winter sports season is now underway. For all the latest Red Devil action, we go to BNews sports reporter Anthony Matos with this week's sports report.
Hey everyone, I'm Anthony Matos and this is your weekly sports report. We are officially underway for the winter sports season here at Burlington High School. Let's talk about how the Red Devils are doing. Girls and boys varsity basketball took on the Stoneham Spartans on December 14th. We have some highlights.
It was a crowded BHS gym when the girls and boys varsity basketball team met with the Stoneham Spartans. Let's begin with the girls' game. It was very close during the first period as the Devils scored 11 points, while the Spartans had 10. 11-10 after the first period. Things heated up a bit in the second quarter as the girls added a 13-point lead over Stoneham. The Spartans were able to score an additional 9 points. 24-19 after 2. The third period was intense as both teams tied it up 29-29. Stoneham got the win in this one as they added 8 points in the fourth, and the Devils added 3. 37-32 was your final. Right after, the boys came into play. Let's check out to see how they did. In the first period, the team put up 19 points, while the Spartans had 7. The Devils continued to connect on offense as they added an additional 21 points. Stoneham added 17, 40-24 at the half. Burlington's red-hot offense added 16 additional points in the third, and their opponent with 14, 56-38. In the fourth period, the Devils put up another 16 points, while Stoneham added 19. 72-57 was your final.
Both teams will travel to Watertown High School where they will face the Red Raiders on December 17th. As of this taping, those games are still to be played. Girls varsity ice hockey began their season on December 15th against Winchester at Burlington Ice Palace and lost the game 3-1. Boys varsity ice hockey kicked off the season against Winchester. We have some highlights.
The start of the new season began for boys varsity ice hockey as Winchester paid a visit. Let's head to the ice. No one scored in the first period. In the second, Winchester got the first points on the board, 1-0. The Devils tied it up in the third with a goal by Will McLean, 1-1. The game headed into overtime where Winchester scored the winning goal, 2-1.
Both teams dropped to 0-1 on the season and will host Reading at the Ice Palace on the 18th. Girls gymnastics will begin the season on January 4th where they host Reading Memorial High School at the Burlington High School Rubber Gym. Boys gymnastics will have their alumni meet on December 23rd at 6 p.m. inside the BHS Rubber Gym. Come out and support the past and present athletes. The team will begin the regular season on January 7th where they host Lowell High School. Girls and boys indoor track began the regular season on December 15th at Boston University Track and Tennis Center against the Wilmington Wildcats. The girls lost the meet 64-36 and the boys won 72-28. The girls dropped to 0-1 in the season while the boys began with 1-0. Both teams will head to Reggie Lewis Center on December 22nd to take on the Stoneham Spartans. Boys swimming had their first meet of the season at Malden High School where they took on the Melrose Red Raiders on December 9th. The team lost the meet 96-63. Burlington starts the season 0-1 and will host Lexington Minutemen at Shawshene Valley Tech on December 16th. As of taping, the meet is underway. Boys wrestling had a quad meet on December 11th against Chelmsford, Tingsboro, Dracut, and Newton South. Burlington lost all 3 of those matches in the home opener. They bounced back when they visited Malden Catholic on December 15th and won the match, 42-12. The Red Devils moved to 1-3 in the season and will head to the Thomas Chicanis Memorial Tournament in Hudson Falls, New York over the weekend. You can check out all the winter schedules at arbitrlive.com and type in Burlington High School. For more Devil action, go to the BNEWS Sports section at bcattv.org/sports and check out our Twitter page at BNEWS Sports. That's all for Weekly Sports Report. I'm Anthony Matos. Back to you guys in the studio.
Another week, another photo to highlight. This week, photos features a big supporter of those in need. Was sent in by Janet Sullivan Fitzgerald of People Helping People and Andy Weiner of the Weiner family Duncan, owners of the Dunkin' Donuts on Cambridge Street in the town center. Janet says Andy and his family, and thanks Andy and his family for their continued many years of support for the charity organization. Thanks for the photo, Janet, and thanks for your family's generosity, Andy. We'd like to see your photos. They could be of your winter activities, a family trip, or just everyday moments, whatever you think is interesting and want to share. Hopefully not ones of snow, or not too soon anyway. Email your photos to bcat@bcattv.org with the subject line Photo of the Week. Remember to stay tuned after the news for this week's Burlington Public Schools update for all the latest education news. Okay, and that's it from the news desk here at BNEWS Weekly. I'm Phil Gallagher along with Rich Hosford, Tad Stefanak, Robert Paris, John Vias, Gretchen Carey, and Anthony Matos. Thank you for joining us.